Hi, this is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California, here today to teach you how to press from crow to handstand. I am wearing black and blue today in homage to how many times I've fallen trying this one, so be really, really patient with this. In order to do this, you do need to be able to do a crow and you need to be able to do a handstand. You don't need to be able to do handstand in the middle of the room. If you can't do it in the middle of the room, just turn sideways so you're facing towards the wall so that when you press up, you hit the wall instead of like falling on your back, okay? I'm gonna be doing this freestanding in the middle of the room just so you can see what's going on. We're gonna start off with some crow stuff. Okay, so again, you're gonna have to know how to do crow in order to do this. If you don't know how to do crow, check out my crow video. It outlines it really, really quite brilliantly, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's get started. Crow. We're going to start off with crow push-ups, okay? That's when we're going to just sort of go up and down with crow, like a yo-yo, like a crow yo. We're going to go down and up. So make sure your shins are always above your triceps, okay? One mistake people make a lot is they put their elbow into the back of their knee. You're simply not going to have the height to do the things that we need to do today if you do that. So shins atop triceps. I lean forward coming into my pose, and I'm going to squish down into the floor, and I'm going to press back up. Okay, so it's the old squish and press. Squish and press. It's sort of like a cat-cow action in my back. Here's the cow, squish, and here's the cat, press. Okay, so this is just your first action to start to learn how to get more control in that pushing up feeling. Okay, the going down is pretty easy because gravity helps you out. It's getting back up that tends to be the challenge. Okay, second skill is going to be jumping back from crow to chaturanga. Okay, the mistakes that people tend to make on this one is that A, they straighten their arms. Remember that every jump back is always to chaturanga, never to plank, okay? So it means your arms need to bend in the air. And B, they let their shoulders follow the jump so that their whole body goes backwards, which doesn't even give them a fair chance at chaturanga. In order to get chaturanga, you need to stretch yourself out like a piece of gum. Your heart is going to go in one direction, and your legs are going to go in the other, okay? So we come into our crow position. And you want to get the feeling of being able to lift your legs off your arms, even just for a moment. My heart is way forward, like I'm trying to get my head past the front of my yoga mat. I lift up my tush, and I shoot it back, landing in chaturanga. Now, if you're already going, I don't have the strength for chaturanga, I hate chaturanga, blah, 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 chaturanga, this is some of the thing that you really need to work on, because if you don't have the strength for chaturanga, it's going to be really hard to get from crow to handstand. So be honest with these jump backs, okay? Bend your elbows 90 degrees, landing lightly. Okay. Skill number 3. These are the pull-throughs. In Ashtanga, some people call them jump backs from Navasana to Chaturanga. It's a very, very similar action to what we just did, but you're not going to have the leverage that you have coming from crow, where your knee is pressing into your arm. So on this one, you're going to have to rely totally on your arms and on your core to take you through. The actions are going to be quite similar. My hips are going to lift up, and this happens every time I'm lifting up. The movement is originating from my hips. My chest is going to go a little bit low, and I'm going to just pull under, shoot back. So, you stand up in your Navasana, your boat position. Boat. You bend your elbow, those aren't elbows, those are knees, and cross your ankles. Now, your hands are going to have to go slightly in front of your hips. One mistake that a lot of people make is they put their hands next to their hips or behind them, which gives them backwards moving momentum. You need forward moving momentum on this one. So from Navasana, my legs bend, my hands come down, and as my feet come into my butt, I lean forward like I'm going to kiss the floor and shoot my legs back and through. Back to my chaturanga. Can you see the similarities between that action and the jumping back from crow? In both of them, it's a heart forward, leg back energy. So I'm just extending and using that core strength, that mula bandha to take me through. Okay, that's skill 3. Skill 4 is going to be my vertical jumps. Okay, now I made another video about this. Sorry to keep plugging my videos, but plug. I'm not really sorry about it. I wish you'd watch all my other videos. In that video, which I think is jumping into handstands 2, we show you how to learn how to jump vertically into your handstand. Now the vertical jump is very similar again to a crow, only without the support of the legs on the arms. So we're going to see if we can take little jumps just to get some air and to get that feeling of pelvic tilt to get vertical into the pose. So, we start with our hands maybe about a foot in front of your feet, not too far forward. You're not jumping from dog, you're jumping from essentially Uttanasana. Your hands move out, turn out ever so slightly. The external rotation is going to help you. And your shoulders, your arms plug into your shoulders. The gaze is way forward. And I bend my knees, and I'm just going to hop up into my handstand. So that I'm really using core strength. That first jumpy part is like leg, right? My leg is getting me off the floor. But then from there, the action of getting from just off the floor to up into vertical is the same as pressing from crow to handstand. So, if you get that, you're golden. Let's see what comes next. Strap. We're going to practice pressing up with the strap. Okay, so a strap is the easier way to get up into a handstand from a crow. I like these yogi toes stretchy straps because they give you a little bit of room to play with. They're a little more forgiving. But because they stretch, don't go all the way outer shoulder to outer shoulder, but sort of like armpit to armpit on this one. Make sure that this goes above your elbows. Okay. So, to get from crow to handstand, a few points. Again, I want my hands to turn out ever so slightly. If you're like me and your elbows like to bend, what this is going to do is going to encourage the external rotation of the arms, which is hard to get if your hands are facing forward sometimes. For me it is. So, I turn my hands out ever so slightly. Hands have to be at least shoulders distance apart. Again, we're going to plug the arms into the shoulders. And from here, what I want you to do is see if you can create a little back bend with your upper back. So not like a cat pose, but like a little tiny arch. Knees go way up on your triceps. The higher you are on your triceps, the more you're sort of cheating yourself into the pose. There's a scary thing about this pose, by the way. There's a lot of scary things, but the scary thing is this. You need to sort of lean forward into this one, into your fingertips. So make sure you look way forward to counteract that forward moving action. So, my hands are down, my arms plug in, I have my little back bend and knees high. I lean forward, pressing into my hands to take me up into my crow, into my handstand. Okay, so you want to get used to that before you move on to doing this without the strap. So, doing it with the strap is the same as doing it without the strap. And by the way, if you don't have a strap, you can also do this by pressing your head really strongly into the wall. Like press it so hard that like your head feels like it's going to smash through the wall. That's going to give you a lot of leverage to help you with the same lift. Okay? So, let's see if we can do the full pose. Crow to handstand. My hands come down about shoulders distance, triceps roll out. My knees come way up on my arms and my gaze is forward. I create a little back bend. I lean forward into this one. Lifting up and into my handstand. Again, I'm not going to pretend this is easy, okay? It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. But if you keep trying, I find it an immensely gratifying pose. So, I hope that helped you. This is Shana Meyerson with Yoga Athletica in Los Angeles, California, and I'll see you again really soon.